Hi, Erie Philharmonic family. I'm Danna Sundet, the principal oboist. This is my husband Eric, who plays trumpet, and what we're doing in our quarantine process. Well, Eric is really handy, and he just built a conductor's podium for the university where I teach at Kent State University, and you can see that he's assembled a nice cart for it. And the podium comes down out of its storage unit, and it's got a beautiful brass railing. And then Eric has thought of everything because he's also a conductor and a trumpet player. He's thought about the needs of how you store a podium and put it together quickly. And there's the brass railing. And then, let's see, let me stand on it the other way so that a great conductor can take his bow. And we're in the driveway right now. But now, well done, husband. He did that podium in no time flat. And now I'll show you the things that I do as an oboist. So we're walking through the garage into our home. And I'll show you some other handiwork that Eric has done because he didn't do this during the time that we were quarantined, but he built me a lovely oboe studio with cabinets. And for some of you who may not know, oboe players have to make our own reeds. And so what we do during this quarantine time is, sorry about the hand there, we make good use of this to chop our cane. The cane is all grown in France and Spain, and we have to chop it into the proper segments with the proper measurements. Then we chop the proper piece out. I'm going to try to do this fast so you won't get too bored. We take the piece like this, and then we put it in a gouging machine. It looks like this. We have to soak it up in water, and then the gouging machine takes the piece of cane and it takes the insides out, the meat out, and just this thing goes back and forth on the piece of cane. Let me see if I can do this a little bit better for you. More realistic approach. I'm trying to do this fast so it doesn't work when it goes fast, but cane comes out of the machine like this, in these little pieces like this. And then when the next step in the process is that this one piece of cane has to be folded on itself. And then put into a shaper tip, like so. And then we take a razor blade, a single edge razor blade, and we shape it. Until it's the shape that we want it. It's kind of like going to the store and buying clothes that fits you just right. And then that shaped piece of cane, we have all kinds of tools. We're like a doctor. And these little staples fit on top of this mandrel. Then we take our thread And we wax it with beeswax so that it's nice and sticky. And then we tie this piece of cane. Where's my ruler? There's my ruler. Tie this piece of cane on top of this brass or silver staple. Using just the right method to get it tied on top of here. Cross it over. You get pretty fast at this over a while. We teach our students that you learn to make reeds quickly so that they don't ruin your life, because we can't play our instruments well for you in our concerts if we don't make reeds well. And of course the cane is a piece of grass, so a rhododendron is the cane that we use, and that means tall grass. Take a nail file and take the ears off the cane. You can see on that shaper tip there's a little bit of ears, and we have to take the ears off of the cane. And then we start scraping this with a series of knives. Start scraping the bark off. And we do this, and it has to have a certain shape. It has to have a body parts to it. A tip, if I put it in the light, maybe you can see it, has to have a thin tip, little heart, has to have a spine. Then the reed usually crows. We call this a crow. Usually crows at a certain pitch, which is a C. And if it doesn't crow at that C, then it would be flat, and we would have to take our knife and we would cut the reed. Now, at first they're really, really stiff, so we have to do some further scraping on it to make it play. But that's why we give the tuning A, is because we don't have any pegs like string players do to tighten or loosen the strings, and we don't have any joints on our instruments that can push together or pull apart if you're flat or you're sharp. It's just our instrument that goes together tight in 3 different sections. This is called the bell, and then the middle, and then the top joint, and then the reed has to go all the way in the reed well. And that reed isn't quite made yet. That's rather stiff. So a double reed is, see how those 2 blades open up and they clap together. So I take this little device called a plaque, and I can separate the 2 blades so that I can scrape on this reed and make it easier to play. And then getting a little bit better. And then we can turn on our tuners and check the pitch. So if I don't come down on that C quite right, then I have some more adjustments to do on my reed. So that's why oboe players are just really picky about playing with good intonation and really setting that tuning standard for the orchestra. So that's what I'm doing during this quarantine time, is trying to get caught up and making a lot of good reads so that when we do come back together, we can sound good for you. I'm also working on a recording project right now with a couple of members of the orchestra because our April chamber concert was canceled. So we're hoping to get out a little snippet of that concert for you using a cool app where we can layer our own instruments, even being far apart from one another. So we're working on some projects to keep busy. Okay, take care. Everybody stay healthy. We certainly miss you, and we can't wait till we can go back to work. Take care. Bye.